Have you with us, Dory, Doring, and Watson. I feel like when you catch our breath and rip through what has been a wild week, man. What a fun week, though, it was. All right, let's start in Baton Rouge, where Texas A&M tried to get to 8-0 for the first time since 1992. Now, the home team has won the last 8 in the series, but there have been some wild ones between these two. And out come the Tigers, looking to redeem themselves after a loss to Vanderbilt last week. Aggies haven't won at Death Valley since 1994. 2nd and 10 for the Aggies, Marcel Reed.
Dart, we talked about it last night. The LSU defense had been susceptible to mobile quarterbacks, giving up an average of 55 yards. Marcel Reed got almost there on one play, 41-yard touchdown to get the Aggies going.
And then more Marcel Reed in a 7-7 game. B-Dub said it earlier in the night. Marcel Reed is a problem.
He's a problem, super elusive. Thing I love about him, though, he keeps his eyes downfield as he navigates the pocket, throwing several touchdowns outside the pocket. How about this play here, Dar?
And then, yes, special teams for LSU. Jace Thomas with the block goes out of bounds. Safety, 14-9.
He channeled his inner Steve Gleason there.
Oh, my goodness.
Yes, in the boot. Yes, sir.
Wow. Watch this catch. Ashton Bethel Roman, one-handed grab. Results in a gain of 47.
That's a nominee for the catch of the week, Dar.
It should be.
What about the throw? Again, out of the pocket by Marcel Reed, staying square, hitting his receiver.
3 plays later, 3rd and goal for the Aggies. Reed,
not ideal.
No, one of his few mistakes. A.J. Halsey picks it off, takes it 25 yards, and LSU with a chance before half to make A&M pay for that turnover. Garrett Nussmeier, Berry, and Brown.
Best throw of the night right there. Dropped it in perfectly over the receiver's shoulder, and all of a sudden, LSU looks like they got life.
3 plays later, it's the freshman Harlem Berry into the end zone, and LSU takes the 15-14 lead. Extra point off the upright. They would later add a field goal. They led at the break 18-14, and then everything changed. First drive of the second half, Marcel Reed. One of his 2 rushing touchdowns.
Don't touch me, man.
Silly, man.
Insult to injury right there.
13 carries, 108 yards, and the 2 scores for him, ensuing LSU possession. Nussmeier sacked, 1 of 7 on the night for Texas A&M.
I feel like we kept watching Nussmeier get picked up by his teammates over and over again, man. Felt bad for Nuss.
And then KC Concepcion takes the ball, and here we go. This won't be the only punt return touchdown we show you today, by the way.
177 all-purpose yards for KC Concepcion. The transfer has made a huge difference for the special teams as well as this Texas A&M offense.
Yeah, he also had a touchdown catch, by the way. Aggies rout LSU in the second half, outscoring them 35-7, and the 35 came in a row. 49-25, largest loss by LSU at home to a team not named Alabama since 1999, and the Aggies are indeed 8-0 for the first time since 1992. What impressed you most, I suppose, about what seems to be an all-around impressive performance?
You ever see those old movies where they're in there tinkering with cars, modifying them, souping them up, and they're like, hey, let's go see what she's got. Let's open her up, see what she's got. I feel like that's what the second half was. They opened her up, and I don't even think they hit full top speed yet, but the dominance, and they stopped kicking themselves, shooting themselves in the foot, stopped turning the ball over. The offense was efficient. Marcel Reed could do pretty much anything he wanted to do. The special teams, KC Concepcion with that punt return, and the defense, 5 sacks alone in the second half. This was what I've been waiting for. I said they're the team with the highest ceiling in the SEC. Finally, they put it all together in that final 30 minutes.
Yeah, Marcel Reed is a problem. And watching him, he made plays, but he always looked downfield as he escaped the pocket. He starts off with that 41-yard touchdown. We knew he could do that, but the throws he made as he got outside the pocket, throws to Concepcion, throws to the other receivers, and then the resilience to bounce back from a horrible play. I mean, you throw an interception in the red zone, in the end zone, and then you come out in the second half and you score 35 points. He was excellent in the second half. He's he's a problem for every single defensive coordinator that's watching this, because you've got a guy that can score 2 touchdowns with his legs. He can throw it with his arm. And then just the complete way Texas A&M won this football game. They go on the road after going on the road last week. They go into a hostile environment, and they get a touchdown from special teams. They get big plays from the defense. Cassius Howell starts off with 2 sacks, and we thought he was going to go for maybe 9 because he was abusing the tackles. And then offensively, they play well too, even without Le'Veon Moss.
Yeah.
Right? And so there's player after player after player after player, and you're starting to think that this Texas A&M team should be in the conversation, not just in the SEC, but on a national stage.
And there's another conversation. It's called the Heisman Trophy conversation, and Marcel Reed's name is squarely in the mix now in that Heisman Trophy candidacy because of his ability to run, because of what he's doing with throwing the football, and all those weapons around him. An 8-0 team that's going to have a chance to be there in the end, and the quarterback playing like he is, we're going to see this dude in New York.
As we should. By the way, Mike Elko said after the game that this team is just different. It's got a togetherness that this team hasn't had before. They look dangerous. They look dangerous. By the way, later in the show, we are going to rank our top 5s, and I know a lot of you all out there criticized us because we didn't have them number 1. You might have been right. You might have been right.
You got to prove it first. This was a game you go on the road, Death Valley at night, where Brian Kelly had only lost 1.
And they showed
big time.
They can play defense.
Yeah.
They can play.
They held LSU to 89 yards total in the second half.
My goodness. Alabama, South Carolina. This is not supposed to be.
In the second half.
My goodness. Alabama, South Carolina. This is not supposed to be close. Carolina lost their last 2. Alabama up at the half in Columbia, 14-6.
It's hard to overthrow him, although he almost underthrew him.
Yeah.
Incredible post route on the cover.
Back Simpson to Jeremy Bernard. 2-point conversion ties it at 22. And here's your game-changing play. And it's not South Carolina that makes it. Final makes its largest fourth-quarter comeback since the 2021 game at Auburn. And they get the win 29-22. And Kalen DeBoer's squad a perfect 5-0 in SEC play.
I think just the story of the game is resiliency. Doesn't matter how you win. It ain't gonna be pretty all the time, especially when you go on the road. SEC game. Coach Beamer, a well-coached team. We knew they were gonna fight. Tough environment here, and just proud of the way the guys hung in there for 4 quarters.
Yeah, obviously a gut-wrenching loss, to say the least. Thanks to our fans, they were unbelievable today. It was hard to hear throughout the game. What an environment. Really proud of our team and how they played today. It's not a surprise. I mean, I knew we would. I just told our team in the locker room, we got to finish. Losing their minds in there. We didn't finish, and they did. So that's a hurt locker room in there, as you can imagine.
That is crushing for South Carolina. For Alabama, though, I love what Kalen said. It's not always easy. Not in this league, it's not going to be easy. And they won with a variety of tools, quite honestly. The pick 6, the strip at the end of the game.
I don't know why we assumed it was going to be easy. I mean, we talked about this historic 4-game stretch the last 4 games where they had beaten ranked teams. You don't think the energy level was low? You don't think they had to expend a lot of energy, gas to be able to go through that gauntlet and to go to Williams-Brice and play against a team that put up the fight like USC did? Give them credit. But at the end of the day, this was a team that never panicked. They went 5 of their 11 drives 3 and out. But yet that pass failure did not define who they were going to be. They put together a 79-yard drive to tie it, made the plays when they needed to, and then got the 2-point conversion. The defense held things together for the majority of the night, and that's the sign of a great team. When you may not have your best on one side of the ball, the other side of the ball picked it up, and the defense did until the offense could finally get some traction.
Yeah, I thought Shane Beamer made a good point about the crowd. It was a raucous crowd down there in Williams-Brice for a team that has struggled. And I think they pushed Alabama to the limit, but in the end, it was the fourth quarter. You mentioned that they have 117 yards of total offense in the fourth quarter alone after only having a little over 200 going into the third quarter. Ty Simpson completes his last 8 passes, and then Jeremy Bernard, in the last 8 minutes of the game, scores 2 touchdowns to seal it. And so it really was about the resiliency. It was about a football team that, we've seen morph over the last several weeks and has a championship character. And I've got to say, the fact that they've had to go through this gauntlet builds that sort of character where you start to believe as a team that you're going to find a way to win. And in the SEC, it comes down to that in the very last minute sometimes.
Good teams find a way to win, and teams that are struggling find ways to lose. As we saw in multiple games today, you feel for South Carolina. Certainly was not what they probably deserved, but credit the Alabama Crimson Tide. They have turned into one of the best teams in the country.
Yeah, nothing has gone South Carolina's way, sitting at 1-5 now in league play after losing just 3 games in conference play a year ago. Meanwhile, Alabama is 7-1 or better through 8 games for the 17th time in the last 18 seasons. All right, we're just getting rocking and rolling here on SEC football final. SEC football final, Auburn and Arkansas, 2 teams each looking for their first conference win of the season. First quarter scoreless, 1st and 10, Auburn, Jackson Arnold, Cam Coleman. Cam Coleman, what a catch.
Every single week there's a highlight of Cam Coleman with a dude draped all over him making the one-handed touchdown.
Unreal. Arnold's first touchdown pass since September 20th.
It was a disastrous second quarter for Auburn. 21 unanswered points for Arkansas, and you wonder how they're going to respond. They've typically withered when things go poorly. Would it be different today?
That's Kenai Walker, 89-yard pick six. Arkansas up 21-10 third quarter. Stanford transfer Ashton Daniels, who was taking a lot of first-team reps in practice this week, said Hugh Freeze. Daniels' first appearance as an Auburn Tiger finds Eric Singleton for 48.
I knew we were going to see him.
6 for 8 for 77 yards passing for him early in the fourth. Hogs up 5. One of 3 fourth-quarter Taylon Green picks, one of 4 fourth-quarter Arkansas turnovers.
And 2 of them by that young man, Pleasant, on the same coverage. Cover 2, snooping corner.
Now Arkansas battling. There's that other non-interception turnover. Auburn football again later that drive. How about Alex McPherson? 5th field goal of the day. He eventually kicked his 6th. 6 for 6, ties an SEC single game record.
By the way, he went 1 of 4 last week, so great bounce back for McPherson today.
And then Taylon Green, there it is, Pleasant with the other INT. 4 straight possessions, 4 straight turnovers. Hugh Freeze in the win column with his Tigers.
I'm happy for our fans, our school, our kids. They have fought their, they have fought their tails off through this stretch of games, and just continue to come to work and do what we ask them to do. We're beat up, freshman center, played well, and just really proud for our people, our kids.
And the change at quarterback, what did you like about the way Ashton Daniels was able to come in and command this offense?
You know, look, I love Jackson, but Ashton I thought he gave us a good spark at a good time.
Hogs lose their 6th in a row after a 2-0 start. Tennessee, Kentucky. Kentucky coming off the near win against Texas. Tennessee up 7-0 early. Cutter Boley picked off. Idris Farouk, and he takes it 45 to the house. Pick 6. 5th defensive touchdown this season.
Yeah, costly pick 6 right there. Kentucky moved the football, but it was those turnovers that led to scores early for Tennessee.
Kentucky down 21-7, 3rd and 11. Boley to Hardly Gilmore, the 4th. He loses the ball. Jamori Macklin recovers it, then he fumbles it. Eventually, Tennessee is able to fall on it. Weird play. Boom, fumble.
Came out again.
Yep, there it is. Tennessee goes on to score a touchdown off the turnover. They were up 28-7.
Does that count as 2 fumbles?
Yeah, sure. Second quarter.